All right, welcome back. And Sarah, this is for you now.
Thank you. So I'll just introduce myself again since we're recording. I'm Sarah Curcio. My company's called Sarah Social Strategies. I've been in business almost 6 years, and I am an organic marketing strategist. I don't believe in paid ads, especially for smaller businesses. So let me ask everybody, you guys can unmic if you want, what platforms do you need the most help with? So if everybody wants to, either type it in the chat or on mic and let me know, so then I can better help you with your specific needs.
Why don't we go round and
LinkedIn,
round?
please. LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Okay,
This
that's
is
one.
LinkedIn. I'm new returning to LinkedIn. Honestly, I just jumped back into LinkedIn. It's just a group I bailed out on there for a while. So Instagram probably for me. How about you, Michelle?
I think more Instagram. I use LinkedIn, but I really need to start posting some articles and so forth.
Okay. It seems like Instagram and LinkedIn got it. So I could cover those two a little bit more.
Rochelle, how about you? You're probably not doing paid advertising. She doesn't have a business. This is more of a hobby show for her. But if Rochelle cares to jump in.
Yeah, for me, I think it's Instagram and LinkedIn for sure.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I'll start with some Instagram tips, and then I'll go to LinkedIn tips, and maybe we could save the last, say, 10 minutes, Lori, for a Q&A. Everybody, if they have questions then. Okay, perfect.
Sarah, can I ask a question?
Sure.
I'd love your, at the end, as you just said, I'd love your feedback on Facebook and Twitter. Just your feedback, because they're,
I will be honest, I do not do Twitter, and I do not do Pinterest. I find Twitter a little too toxic. I don't really like being on it. But
I like to watch it.
Yeah, I mean,
I mostly watch dogs. I watch dogs.
But I can definitely help with Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Clubhouse. So
that'll be great.
I can definitely cover all those.
Yep.
So for Instagram, the first and most important thing is going to be your bio. You're going to want to make sure in your bio that you utilize emojis because you're limited to the 150 characters. But you're also going to want to make sure in the bio you say who you help and how you serve them. And you also want to have a call to action because you have the opportunity to put one link only. So if you happen to have a freebie, draw their attention to that. If you happen to have a Facebook group, draw their attention to that. Whatever it is that you can offer for free, get their attention, especially if you can capture their emails, if you have newsletters or anything like that. And another new feature that just came out on Instagram that I'm loving is you can add an additional link. If you have your Instagram profile as just a profile and you have it connected to Facebook, you can now activate your Facebook profile link on there and people can connect with you off of Instagram onto Facebook. So if I could put my Instagram link in the chat, I'll pull it up and you guys can see what I mean by that actual visual. This way it'll help you. Let me just get my link out. Instagram, here we go. So those are the important parts for the bio. Now, depending on which way you want to go, if you are more interested in reels or stories, those are going to be the best ways to utilize getting people's attention now, because post, unless you're going to do a carousel post, Instagram is not going to push it in the algorithm. They're trying.
What's a carousel post?
Okay, perfect.
Sorry.
Carousel, no, that's fine. That's what I'm here for. A carousel post is basically a post that's informative but has multiple pictures. If you click on the link for my profile, I just did one myself for my freebie to get attention. So what I did was on the first slide, I had a picture of myself, or if you want to put a picture like of your logo, and I put need some SEO advice. And then on each slide after that, I have 3 slides with 3 tips. And then the last slide I have is a call to action in it. It says comment below if you want access or to gain access to the freebie. And of course, make sure if you're offering a freebie, you have a catchy title. Include the words like secret or hacks. And you can utilize that in your Instagram captions as well. Those buzzwords are very important.
May I ask a question, since we have a lot of radio hosts here? What about,
Sure.
how about like guest up with me or something like that? Is that
Yeah,
catchy
that
enough?
would be great too, especially if you are looking for guests. But always make sure there's some type of call to action. You don't want to ever waste the opportunity to get your audience to engage with you and to possibly capture their email, because the email is the most important thing to stay connected with them. Because you have audiences that are on social media, you have audiences that are focusing on your blog, and then you have an audience that's in your newsletter. Now, they can all overlap a little bit, but they will also be a little different. So you never want to waste that opportunity. And then with your reels, when you are writing your captions, there's a specific structure that you're going to want to write it out in. You always want to make sure that you position yourself as a person of authority within your industry. So say if you have an example would be some type of social proof. If you have a testimony, or if you have clients that you have given them excellent results, make sure you're including that in the caption, because people want to know that whatever your mission is, you can actually accomplish. So you always want to make sure you have that in your reels. Oh, and another important tip with reels, the music. Depending on how updated your app is, when you're selecting your music, there might be a little tiny arrow that's pointing up when you're looking at the music list. That little arrow is indicating that the music is trending. So that's what you want to utilize. And also, when you're picking your music, make sure you look at how many reels that song is being used in, because you're going to want to utilize that as well. And I don't know if this is certain, but I've heard this, because in addition to not liking Twitter and Pinterest, I'm not a TikTok person. But I heard that songs that are trending on TikTok will be trending on Instagram like a week or two later. So you can utilize that knowledge, write down, keep a list of whatever songs if you are on TikTok, and then you could apply them to Instagram later.
Sarah, can you post your handles for Instagram and so forth for us so we can go see yours?
Sure.
That would be
I put
great.
the link. I put the link in there. Can you guys see it?
It's in chat.
Yep,
Right.
It's in the chat. Instagram.com, Sarah Social Strategies.
Perfect.
Yep. Now, another important part of Instagram is the stories, because that's an opportunity for you to utilize polls, questions, or comments and get your audience to interact with you, because that's when you can have DM conversations. And that's the most important part, because that's where you're going to build the relationships with your followers. And even if it's just a simple conversation to say, hi, how are you? Thank you so much for engaging. It's best if you're having a minimum of 5 DM conversations a day, no matter what. Even if you're just looking for guests, you want to build the relationships off of the polls and off of the questions from your stories. Now, if you happen to have people not engaging in your polls, what you can do is look at the list of people who have viewed your stories and just keep track. Take a look every day. If you have the same people consistently looking, you can do what's called a cold DM message, which is reaching out to them and just saying something simple like, hi, thank you so much for viewing my stories. How are you today? This way you can start the engagement.
Just real
Lori?
quick, Carrie, are you good with all this like DMs and everything? She's the only one here that's not like a coach consultant. She might that direct message.
Okay.
Are you kind of up on that, Carrie? I don't know how much you use Instagram.
I do not use Instagram
Okay,
at
I just
all,
want to clarify.
so
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, Sarah, when most everybody here is like coach consultant, knows a lot of these terms, not so much. Carrie's kind of jumping in and getting newly familiar with it. So DM is
Okay.
direct messaging, just like on Facebook.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Carrie, if there's any questions before I keep going, do you want me to clarify any of the acronyms I've been using, or?
Well, I've just been taking notes so I can look this stuff up later, but I wasn't planning to jump into Instagram because there's so many only so many social platforms I can handle right now.
No, I understand. I understand. And what's important too is you want to have a presence on a few social platforms, but whichever platform has the most of your ideal clients on it, that's the master platform that you want to use. Because if you try to do every single thing on every single platform, we're going to get burnout as entrepreneurs. We're just going to get exhausted, and we may not be able to outsource certain things at certain times, or we don't feel comfortable just yet. So you want to master one social media platform at a time. Even if you want to have a presence on all of them and narrow down, I'd say, oh, Instagram's number one for me. Then Facebook's number two, just to get an idea. But after you master that first one, then you can move on to adding more elaborate things into the next platform.
Yeah, I'm just focusing on LinkedIn and Facebook business right now.
Okay, so what I'll do then is, does anyone have any specific questions for Instagram? Because what I can do is I'll move into some tips on LinkedIn next, but I want to make sure this platform everybody feels confident in with the information I've given. I'll just check the chat.
Looks like we got a green light.
Okay, everybody good, or?
I have one quick question. First of all, this information is amazingly helpful. So I noticed you have like #1 bestseller. So is that a book that you put together on different marketing hacks that was like a self-published book or an ebook that people can download? Is that how you leverage that?
That's actually something that I've been thinking about working on, but that's not what that one is. That one is an Amazon bestseller, but I was part of a book collaboration with 20 other amazing women, and that's how I found it was easier to do as my first book. I felt comfortable like having a support of other authors before I start writing my next one. But that book is called Monetize Your Message, and each one of us had a book chapter to write about how we help and our journey as entrepreneurs.
Oh, great. Okay,
But
great.
yes, I mean, if you have anything like that, if there's any awards or certificates that you want to showcase in the story highlights, that's great, because that's also another important thing before I move on. Let me pull up mine.
And
So
Michelle, welcome. I'm sorry I didn't recognize before. I
no,
saw
that's
two
okay.
Michelles, and I actually thought Michelle Weston maybe had logged in on 2 devices or something.
No,
So that's
I'm
why-
just with one L.
No,
So always remember, I'm with one L and you're with 2, correct?
right. True.
Okay.
we haven't met Lori. I found you on the Meetup group. And
Oh,
so
okay,
it's my
good.
first time coming into this group.
Okay, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
I always say to people, I'm Sarah with the H.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
makes
so
sense.
let me pull up. So when you utilize stories, that's the opportunity you can create story highlights on your profile,
Okay.
which is really important because that's the only way you can have stories last more than 24 hours.
Gotcha.
So one of the things you want to include in there is say a little bit about yourself. That can be one story highlight. Another one can be if you do have a podcast, that could be another highlight. Another one can be if you are a coach, what program you offer. And another one could be freebies. And then a fifth one as an example could be if you have an award or a certificate or anything like that that you want to showcase.
Perfect.
Cool.
So of course, depending on your business, you'll tweak the highlights a bit, but make sure you have things featured because people are naturally curious. So they not only want to know about your business, they want to know about you.
Gotcha. And then you have you have Clubhouse entered there as
Mhm.
well, which is great. Okay.
Yeah, because that's what I do is I prefer to work on Facebook groups for my clients, but I prefer the Clubhouse Club for my community management. So that's where I put it on there. But if you have a Facebook group, feel free to throw that on your highlights as well.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Michelle. So now I'll move on to LinkedIn to give you guys tips there. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure your profile is optimized. And when I say optimize, I mean make sure you're utilizing all the new features that LinkedIn has given over the course of the last 2-3 years. So one of the first things is called creator mode. If you don't have that activated already, you're going to want to activate that, because the benefit of having creator mode on changes it from just having connections to having followers. And the benefit of that is to show that you have influence.
So say that again, Sarah.
Sure. Creator mode. That's what you're going to want to activate. So creator mode has a few different options that it gives you that are beneficial. And the first one is that it changes the term connections to followers. So you can have people who will still remain just a connection, but then you'll also have people who follow you the same way people follow you on, say, Instagram. And that's important because it's going to show influence and authority, because Instagram is trying to compete with the other platforms and stay ahead of the game, but still have that professional overtone as well. So that's one benefit. Another benefit is it allows you to add specific hashtags on your profile page. So if people connect with you, you can list the top 5 hashtags that you post about, or even create a specific hashtag for your business, and that will become part of the search engine on LinkedIn. Sorry, getting my platforms mixed up here. But another benefit of it is on LinkedIn, with your profile picture, you have the option to keep it just as a picture, or you can record a 30-second video and put it on there. So that gives you the opportunity to introduce yourself, tell who you help, who you serve, everything. So people can see that as well. So that's another benefit. And the main way to do that is on the phone, though. Don't try to do that on the computer. It's not going to be as easy. So let me see if
record the, Sarah, excuse me. You mean
yes, sure.
Record the video on your phone, not on your laptop?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Can I use voice recorder to record on my phone, like I'm doing some of my interviews, and then am I able to download it then to LinkedIn?
That would be audio only though.
Yeah, that's just
Audio
audio.
only?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think her recording is actually an image, right?
Yes, a
Yeah.
video.
It's a real
Yeah.
video, not just audio.
So
Okay.
it would be me talking. Like, I haven't put
So
mine
Michelle, you
up
would go
yet.
to like your photos. You would just go to your photo app and click video and reverse the camera, and there you go.
Yes, exactly, Lori. Exactly. And what you would want to do is make sure you don't do it. And they say you can do up to 30 seconds, but my recommendation is to do 29 seconds, because when you upload it,
Makes sense.
something gets a little off with the platform. So just to be safe, so you don't have to re-record it, stick to 29 as your maximum seconds. Let me see. Oh, and your headline. Your headline is really important here. You don't have to just make it your current position that you have. If you want, instead, you could put your mission statement up there. So like for me, I think I have to update it, but my mission statement, I say, is helping ambitious, goal-oriented entrepreneurs with organic marketing strategies to to spark engagement, increase visibility, and attract clients. So you could put your mission statement right in there on LinkedIn, which is beneficial to you.
And
So
can we have your LinkedIn handle as well so that we can go look
Sure.
at yours? If you don't mind.
again, I have to update it
Cool.
still.
And
but-
actually,
we'll
you
put it
know
next
what,
week.
Sarah, what I'll do is I'll click that from you after the video, and Michelle, I'm gonna put
Yay.
that all on YouTube in the notes, and then I'll send the
Great.
YouTube to everybody, so you have
Super.
everything. Okay,
That's great.
Okay, perfect. Let me see. I have to get my LinkedIn for you guys, but Lori, I'll send that to you too.
yeah, it'll be easier if I just put it all in the summary.
Okay, perfect. So once you have a lot of those features optimized, one other important aspect that they have is literally called the featured section. So this is an opportunity that you can post, you can highlight, basically think of the featured section on LinkedIn like Instagram story highlights. Think of it that way. So you can feature a post, an article you've written, a link to your website, a link to your discovery calls, a link to your podcast, anything like that. So make sure you utilize that, because when people connect with you, those are going to be the first things they see. Now, when it comes
Sarah?
to free, yeah, sure.
Excuse me, it's Carrie. What's
No,
a
go ahead.
discovery call?
Oh, a discovery call is basically another term for like a consult call. So if you offer a free 15 to 30 minute, say assessment call, it's to, so when you have a discovery call, you have a form that people can fill out, and you ask them questions, say you want their website, what they're currently struggling with, what they're looking to gain from the call, and that's your opportunity to get more clients.
So Carrie, remember when we talked about Calendly, using
Yes.
Calendly? Yeah, and Carrie, there's another tool I want to introduce to you later. She's kind of new in the creator space. She's an
Sure.
executive, because
No
she's coming from
problem.
executive spaces. Linktree is something you might want to look at too, Carrie. But I'll send you an email reminder. But Calendly is how I label discovery call when somebody wants to talk about radio. It's just my term that to me doesn't sound like I'm selling you something. We're gonna connect, right?
Exactly. And it's up to you if you want to make it 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Some coaches who are really experienced, been in the game for years, will even do 45 minutes to an hour.
Not for a discovery call,
Some
because I
people
cost
would-
money.
I
Wow,
think,
I cost
yes,
money.
I
Sorry,
think that's
but I cost
way
money.
too, yes, I agree. 30 minutes is my max. I agree. Okay, so once you have that optimized with LinkedIn, it's actually more important to engage with other people's content than worrying about posting your own content every single day. You could post your own content, say twice a week, but it's recommended to engage every day, at least every business day. And for a general rule, no matter what the platform you're utilizing, if you really want to build relationships, you need to spend 30 minutes a day engaging with your audience, commenting on their things, and don't ghost your post. If you post something and you have people interacting, make sure you interact with them and have it more than just an emoji response. Try to get a little personal. Keep the conversation going. Ask them another question, or, anything that can go with your post, whatever content you've just shared.
And is it better to do that through a message or post back so that everyone can see it?
Start with a post, and then if you feel you can continue the conversation, you can either ask for permission, can I DM you? Or if you feel this person you've engaged with for a while, you could just send them a DM.
Okay.
So it depends on the level of relationship you've already have with the people you're engaging.
And
Okay.
Sarah, one of the
Yep.
things that I wasn't doing that I'm now doing is checking in another handles, it's Messenger, but checking my messages, because sometimes people are already DMing me directly. So
Yeah.
just glance over there. And also it's really important to use hashtags that work when you're posting somebody else's piece, because you're sort of connecting with them on why it's important to you.
Yeah, you can utilize the hashtags more on LinkedIn. What Instagram has done recently, even though hashtags are still important, you don't have to have 30 hashtags in a post anymore. You could have.
Well, I don't. I'm not
3.
using 30. That's too much time. That's too much time.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what they used to. But what's even better now is if you don't put any hashtags, it's okay. As long as you have your buzzwords or SEO, which is search engine optimization, your keywords in the post that you feel like. For me, if I write a post about blogging, I'm going to want to make sure I utilize the word blog writer, all of that within the post, because that becomes searchable on Instagram.
Is that
How do you feel?
hashtag rule across platforms where you don't have to do something?
Every platform's a little different. You don't have to go crazy on Facebook. You don't even have to use them on Facebook per
What
se.
about Instagram?
Instagram is changing and doing that now as well. It can still help to put it, but you don't have to go insane. If you just want to stick 3
Yeah.
hashtags now, it's fine.
I find that to be a relief, honestly. I see
Yes.
people with like a page of hashtags. I'm like, what are they doing?
It's like, why are you spending time? No more than
It's
a
like
dozen.
they
I mean,
must
a dozen's
cut
a
and
lot.
paste all these to add to every, because that would just take me so
Mhm.
long.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is another general rule across platforms. When you're searching for hashtags, have a mixture of hashtags. You don't want to have all hashtags that are in the millions, that are
Yeah.
being used into the millions. You want to have maybe a couple in the millions, a couple in the 100,000s, couple in the lower thousands, and of course, I recommend always on all of them, if you're going to utilize one hashtag, make sure you utilize your own branded hashtag. So I'll make sure I always use Sarah Social Strategies. But Michelle, you were going to ask a question before I.
Oh, I'm just curious. It's still LinkedIn. In regards to when I post somebody else's post and do hashtags, I normally, because I work in healthcare, integrative healthcare, I normally post ampersands of linking to people who I'm connected to. So
Wait, say that again.
if I'm connected to Laura B, I will do an ampersand at Laura B so that it bolds it, and then she'll get the
Okay.
message that I've included her.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about like tagging, right?
Yeah, you're calling it tag. Yes, good. So now I know
Okay.
that word. Okay.
Yep, that's the word.
And should there be at like hashtags that you're saying, should there be an amount of tagging that we're doing, like on something on LinkedIn, which is more business?
You want to be, there's a fine line with tagging. You don't want to overuse it and abuse it, because then people will get annoyed and either block you. So if you do tag someone, make sure that it is relevant, really relevant, and that they're going to comment and engage, or at least like the post, something. So say like for a podcast, and you're saying, I have this guest, and you tag them. That's perfect.
Okay.
And if we're going to talk on 2 more topics, we have to move on. Otherwise, we'll just touch on Clubhouse a little bit.
I just have one more question.
Sure, that's what I was just going to ask.
So because of my regular paid work right now, I have to get my LinkedIn and Facebook business profiles approved by this company I work with. But someone has suggested I set up another LinkedIn profile for my own stuff, for example, for my radio broadcast with 360 Talk Radio for Women.
Okay.
So how easy or difficult is that? And do I use a different photo, or what can I do?
Well, there's a couple of things you can do. So you could do that. You could make a whole nother profile just for that. Now, my question to you is, do you feel your current job and what you're working on conflict with each other?
Yes, they have a huge compliance thing. She has to totally separate it. She can't just add a page.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
That's-
I know where
that's
you were
what I was
going. I
getting
know where
at,
you're going.
yeah.
She can't add a page. So Carrie, you might want to like use a middle initial
Yes.
for that other one. You know,
Yes.
use your middle initial or just K Braxton or Carrie B.
Yes.
Okay.
Carrie B sounds like a nice hosting name.
Yeah, that's Carrie B is actually my Twitter handle.
Yeah, I would maybe do
Perfect.
a separate page and make it all your personal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Okay.
knew where you were going. I happen to know about what she's referencing in her company. There's a huge compliance issue, so she has to totally separate it.
Then I completely agree with Lori on that. Definitely.
Okay.
Does
Great,
anybody
thank
else
you.
have any final questions before I move into Clubhouse then? On LinkedIn or Instagram?
Were we gonna do Facebook or no?
Let me see.
Is everybody burned down on Facebook?
I
I've
think-
never used it.
Okay.
I mean, it's overwhelming.
Okay.
So
If
I
anybody
just-
finds Facebook real important to talk about, please drop that. We'll save a couple minutes. We'll go on to Clubhouse because for those of you who
Okay.
don't know Clubhouse, you might want to jump in. I do hope it'll kind of reactivate and stimulate again. I mean, lately, so we have a Facebook request. Lately, I haven't seen a whole lot going on Clubhouse. I'm hoping it'll kind of revive at some point, but let's go ahead and touch on Clubhouse and then a little bit on Facebook. We do have a request for Facebook.
Okay, perfect. So I'll give some details for Clubhouse, and then I believe it was Sean who said Facebook. Just let me know what aspect of Facebook, because there's a variety, and I want to make sure I touch on the specific part of Facebook you need.
I
As
would
long
think it
as
would be
I heart-
business, right?
Yeah, Facebook business.
Well,
I have
It
to use that.
depends if,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thanks,
what
Carrie.
I mean though is like, if they need help optimizing their profile, their business page, stories.
They're
like, there's
probably going to
so-
ask about groups, probably.
Groups, yes,
pages of
that was
groups,
another
yeah.
one. Okay, so with Clubhouse, one of the most important things is to optimize your profile. And one of the convenient things about it is
And
it's,
Sarah, tell people what Clubhouse is. Not everybody knows. It's an audio
oh, okay.
app.
So
Okay,
yeah,
I'll
some
I'll
of us are
backtrack a
newbies to
little.
Clubhouse.
Sure. So think of it like a podcast. It's an audio-based social media app. So the good thing is you don't have to worry about what you look like. You can get on there, give all your knowledge and be in your pajamas and have your hair mess or
And that's
anything.
why we love Clubhouse. You just
Yeah.
select an avatar.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's I've been waiting for something like this forever.
It works really
So-
well for coaches.
And
Yes,
you can really
it
have
does.
deep and engaging, they call them rooms. So that's your space. You jump into a space from a hallway, choosing the conversation you want to get into. And you can have really deep and engaging conversations as long as you do contribute. Being a
Yes.
standard listener is not going to get you anywhere. You got to get up on stage, open up that mic.
Yes, you want to be a speaker because eventually people will get to know you. And that's the only way they're going to get to know you, if you jump in and have a conversation. And then eventually what you can do is what a lot of people do is they'll create mod squads. So that's basically a squad of moderators. I'm a part of one. So every Monday and Thursday, I help to moderate a room under a club. Now, I actually have my own club on Clubhouse, and Lori, I'll give you that link as well if people want to connect. So for me, my club on Clubhouse, I talk about all organic marketing, and I hold my standard room every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just like you want to be consistent with Facebook and Instagram, you want to be consistent with Clubhouse. People want to know what day and what time you're going to be there.
And is there a length that you have liked, Sarah, that you think works for Clubhouse?
A minimum of an hour. A minimum of an hour to make some type of an impact. Usually my rooms will go a little over an hour, but I try to cap it at that.
Does it
There was-
cost money to get on Clubhouse?
Nope,
But you have to be invited. Is that still
No,
standing,
not
nope,
Sarah?
not anymore.
No.
Not
Okay, because I
anymore.
had to be invited. Okay, cool.
For the last
I-
year, it's been open.
Yeah, I
Good.
was invited, I think December 2020. So I'm on there almost 2 years now. But what is new on there is they not only have clubs, they have houses.
I don't even know what that is. And I'm a
I'm
Clubhouse user. I don't even know what the house is.
I'm not, that's where you have to get invited now.
Oh,
You have to be invited to a house.
interesting.
And I don't know much about them because I haven't been in houses yet, but when you do get invited, I know if you leave a house, that's it. You can't go back in. Whereas if you leave, like, say, a club on Clubhouse, or if you left a group on Facebook, you could always apply to rejoin. But a house you can't for whatever reason.
They're
And
trying to make it exclusive.
yes,
Because a
exactly.
lot of people did like that invite only, Michelle. You know, a lot of people
Okay.
really thought that was a
Yes.
huge part of community was the invite only. So I see that that's what they're trying to return to, and that
Yeah.
exclusivity.
And one thing that they did in the beginning was there were some people who ran rooms. They had a lot of moderators and it just went on for days. One room was open for 24 days straight.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, it was. It was
Stop.
insane.
That's,
But they did a crazy marathon room like
it's
that.
TMI. It's TMI for me, but I'm sorry.
I
don't know.
remember
Now
the
I'm-
guy
now I'm-
who
now
used
my
to do
age,
that.
now my age is kicked in. So 24 days, Sarah, I'd be like, really? You really have
I
that
don't
much
have-
to
Get
say?
off my lawn.
Yeah. I do a 1 hour room and I cap it. Why?
sense.
I have to
Yep.
give myself boundaries, limits.
Yes.
Mm.
I am going to do what I can do in 1 hour and I have to move on to other projects. I do
Yep.
not
Yep.
run a marathon room past an hour. As a matter of fact, a lot of times in the title, I call it a 30-minute room so that I know people have like, oh, jump in now because there is going to be a hard stop.
Yep, exactly. And that's an important key. When you are the same way when you are creating a headline for, say, a live, whether you're doing a Facebook Live or Instagram Live, when you're scheduling a room under your club, you get that option for the headline. So you can put, like what Lori said, 30-minute and then whatever the topic is. So people know, oh, okay, I better hop in here now or I'm going to miss my opportunity.
And the reason why I say 30 minutes is everybody feels like they can jump in for 30, you know,
Yeah.
and catch something. So if I go a little long after those 30 minutes, I say, okay, we've got a lot of people jumping up on stage. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up at the, top of the hour, etc.
And as the moderator, you have the option to turn hand raising off. So people click a little hand
Mhm.
on Clubhouse if they want to come up on stage. Oh,
So I have a question. I've had a couple of proposed guests, and again, thank you, Lori, so much for sending out the help. Carrie needs guests. I've had a couple of guests who asked me to work with Clubhouse. Can you have a room of just 2 people where you just interview someone and record that?
Yes, but
Yes.
Sorry, let me talk to you after this on that.
Okay.
Because I actually have an email on how to record on Clubhouse.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Okay,
great.
so I can send that to you. I want you to explore Clubhouse before you get into recording and have your own meetings though. So I'm gonna
okay.
send you an email so that you can like follow me and I'll set up a room. Say, hey, jump in if you can. But I want you
Okay.
to explore it to understand it before you try to record in there. I have recorded rooms for podcasts in there and it's very easy, but
Mhm.
explore the basics first.
Okay.
Are
yes,
we
That would
gonna
be
be
great,
able-
Lori. That would be
And
great to know going, to have and going forward. That's super.
Yeah, I'll send you the email too. I'm sure you're more fluid on Clubhouse, but as you know, those replays that it downloads as an MA4. All you do is send that to Cloud Convert to an MP3 and there you go. The only tip I give is when you open up that room, you have an introduction started so that you don't have to do editing, right? Now, remember, I have a hard stop unless I hand this over to you to continue because I have recording. Are we going to be able to hard stop in about 10 minutes?
I think so because I do
Okay.
have
You have a
another-
meeting too.
other
Why don't we
meeting,
go ahead
yes.
and move
I've got to
on
go
to-
as well.
Yeah, why don't we move on to Facebook? A little more on
Okay.
Clubhouse. I can actually open up a room to have more conversations about Clubhouse, and I'll invite everybody to that. How about that?
That would be great. I could even help co-mod with you if you
Okay.
want, Lori.
Yeah, why don't you and I arrange something and we'll send out an invite?
Okay, so I will go to Facebook now. So let me see. You know what I'll do? I'll cover groups because groups are one of the best organic ways to monetize on Facebook.
Yeah, and that's what
Um,
I'm
This is
saying is the
Facebook
question.
business groups.
You can utilize your group for anything. You can utilize it for business, or even if
You
some
can
people
have an
just want to
open or
utilize it for
closed.
hobbies. So it depends on your purpose, but you always want to make sure you know your purpose. And when you name your group, again, think keywords, buzzwords. What are people going to search to find your group? You want to make sure you have a good cover photo. And you want to make sure that you have some type of lead magnet, a free, and again, another freebie to offer them, an incentive to join. And one of the most important parts of having a Facebook group is making sure you utilize the membership questions, because the membership questions is an organic way. It's your opportunity to collect emails. So if you have MailChimp set up and you have your email campaigns ready to go, that's another way to do it. You can ask them, would you like to receive, and then whatever it is specifically you have. That's one question you can ask. Another question is you can ask, how long they've been in business if you want, or you can ask them, what was the other question? I just had it. You can ask them what is their purpose for joining? What do they want to get out of the group? So again, depending on your business, you want to specify it, but these are just some general overviews to get you guys thinking for your own companies. And then once you have the cover photo, the lead magnet, let me take a look at what else I have for my clients to give you guys an idea. Pull it up. Okay. Now, another important thing is theme days. You
What's
want
it?
to utilize specific theme days.
Theme, THEME.
Yep. Like, for an example, Marketing Monday, Follow Friday, Welcome Wednesday, Shout Out Saturday. And again, there's a whole bunch of different theme days, but I always recommend people utilizing those, and then in addition to whatever else you want.
What was
Because this
Friday?
Follow Friday.
Thank you.
So that's the opportunity to say to people, let's connect on Instagram. Everybody share their Instagram handles, or everybody share their LinkedIn URLs, anything like that. Or if you want to do, say, let's share our Facebook groups, Facebook page, anything like that.
If you're doing a business page, ladies, I would also even recommend, Hey Girl You Can is like diligent on this, and a lot of people do it anyway, but I'm just going to give them a shout out. That's on Clubhouse. But when you what's your goal for the week on Mondays, and what did you accomplish on Friday? That's a great way to engage and celebrate wins also through Facebook. Because I like to do a challenges and goals thing. What is your challenge? What is your goal? It's like work the problem, but that's a great way for engagement, and that you're offering help and you're providing a celebration as well.
Yes, and that's another one. Win Wednesday. What are your wins?
Wellness Wednesday.
Yep. Or Motivation Monday. There's a million of them. Lori, I could even send you this image. I found an image online, and I even saved it to my favorite section on my photos, with a list of almost every theme day you could think of from Monday through Sunday.
That's cool.
And that's what
I
I
like to do
with my.
self-care Sundays.
Yep.
Because that's a great downtime, right, Michelle? I think when you
Yes.
selected your time slot, it was kind of a self-care thought. And
Yep.
I like to do my summit Saturdays because, if you take me
Yep.
back, I'm an event producer. So it's like if I were to go to a big event, it would usually lapse over to a weekend, or that's the time where I could really soak in like a large bundle of content. So for us on radio, I've got our Summit Saturdays.
So before, I know we have to have a hard stop. So if anyone does want to join my email list, just shoot Lori your emails and then she can give them to me and I can add you, because right now my freebie is called Super SEO Secrets. So if you sign up, that's the first thing you'll get. And then I send out tips and tricks like this every week.
Lori, I'm happy to be added to her email list. You have my email. Thank you.
Me too.
Thank you, ladies.
Or do you want me to?
Terrific.
Do you
Can
want
I-
me? So how about this, ladies? When I send you all a link of this recording, I'll send Sarah's information so you can sign up or opt in. Sarah, you have some kind of opt in?
Yep. If
Okay.
they go to my website, I have a pop-up box. They'll
And
be able to sign
I'll
up.
CC you on the email so people have your direct email. But
Okay.
whatever links you want to include for that freebie, I mean, if it's okay, I can put it on the YouTube also, but I'll make
Sure.
sure that is specific in the email I send out to the group. Now, a couple of you, Sean, I don't know how to reach you, and Michelle, if you're in.
Just through, I
Meetup.
just put my email in there to make it easier for you.
Oh, okay. I was
Yes.
gonna say, I'm gonna put mine in. Why don't you email me if you don't mind, since I'm gonna be
Sure.
popping out of here.
Perfect.
So, Sean and Michelle, it's lori.carice@whipmediagroup.com.
Okay, let's see.
I just gave that to everybody on YouTube. Now I'll get it.
Yep. But yeah, definitely, I will definitely
okay,
add
right?
you ladies.
Is
This
it
week.
in the chat, Lori, or it's just your name, Lori.Carice?
Yeah, it's in chat.
Okay.
So, and as far as Sean, Sean must have come locally. I see a local phone number there. So probably through my Calabasas Mommy Caneo family events group here. So thank you and welcome for coming. So Sarah, thank you so much. This was also helpful. I hope we touched enough on everything, and everybody needs the hard stop. We all have work to do. I have a feeling we could have gone a little bit more into Facebook groups when it comes to paid, unpaid, closed, and not closed.
If you ever want to do a clubhouse room, Lori, I'm happy to co-mod with you.
Okay, yeah,
Hey.
yeah, we can do that. Perfect. Well, thank
All right,
you, everybody,
was-
for
So nice meeting you guys.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks for the info.
this was a lot of great information, Sarah. I really appreciate it. So I'll be emailing everybody later this afternoon.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.